everybody, Lia Knowles here. Thank you for watching. In this video, there will be two things. One of them is I would like to address a request from a few fans who asked me to basically make a rotation video with commentary instead of none at all. They had a hard time and struggled to understand what was going on in the video I released a while back. It is understandable. Everything is so quick. It's very difficult to understand the interaction of the encounters. What's the correct order? Why am I doing what I'm doing? So I will take the time in this video to explain all of it. If I don't forget anything, of course. And the second part of the video will be a little bit about my a snippet to my Module 10 update that will be released in about 3 weeks, which will be about the time in which I get my last piece of relic restored, and I should be able to finish the campaign by then. It's almost done. I just need the last boon. So I don't tend to publish things that are unfinished, so apologies to everybody who are still waiting. I will say this up front, the build has not changed. The feats are the same feats, only addition of boons, a little bit of changes with the gear, nothing major at all. So for all those who are worried that my mode 9 build is not viable anymore for this one, it is. No worries about that. The build is viable still. So before I start, I would like to get a few disclaimers done. The first one is I would like to say thank you very much for all the support I've been getting in the past 2 years. The moral support, the encouragement that encouraged me to test and keep exploring the class so I can help everybody. It's purely amazing. Getting all the positive response, the heartwarming words, honestly, it's beyond anything I could imagine. So thank you very, very much for being such an amazing community. I appreciate it. Even though, there are all those creepers who like to copy my tune by its looks and pretend to be me and all those. Despite all those, the community is amazing. Thank you very much for all the support. Also, shout out to my guild, the Holy Crusaders, who are absolutely amazing. My officers, Jarek, Aya, Source, Lilith, and Dora, Finn, Wolfman, all of you guys, absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much for all the support. Also, kind of a side note, if anybody plays a TR, Ayasuke, which is one of the best TRs in the server, whom I have to honor to, to be with every day, is publishing a guide very soon. So if anybody's interested, I would recommend to check it out. It should be amazing, very informative. He's an amazing, amazing TR. So if anybody would like to check it out, I fully recommend it. And good luck to you. So, the other disclaimer is that my native language is not English, so if there are any mistakes, grammar, any of that sort, please, I apologize up front. I don't mean to make any mistakes, but as you know, talking for 30 minutes is not easy, especially for people with English not being their native language. So, okay, so this is my tune. This is Lia. She's been very close to me in the past 2 years. We've been through a lot together. Relic Gear. So this is what's new basically in this new mode. FBI, which if anybody checked my channel, we published a guide to it a couple weeks ago. It's a great guide if you guys haven't run it yet and you would like to get a tiny bit more information about the dungeon. I recommend watching it, at least the boss fights, and reading the manual that we wrote with my officers. So, yeah, Relic Gear. Relic Gear is the drop from the dungeon. It is best in slot at the moment, item level 150. It's just like the Annamund Gear. Power, crit, defense, all of the pieces if you go for raid. I'm still missing the chest piece. I already farmed it, however, I need to restore it, and it's gonna take me at least 3 weeks to get the appropriate amount of resin in order to restore it. The chest piece is a little bit of hell to restore, but it's gonna be done soon. Um, so I would like to address a question. I get asked a lot about why I chose not to go with the Annamund Gear, and what's so special about the Relic Gear. Okay, so here it is. Annamund Gear, guys, let's be frank, is garbage. It's not garbage in the sense that the stats are good, don't get me wrong, but if you have Dragonflight on or any of that sort, and you upgrade to Adamant and you pay millions and millions of AD for a piece of Adamant gear, why are you doing that? For 30 more power, 40 more power, do you really need that minor upgrade? And the item level, I don't see it as necessary at all. I think it's not a smart move. However, I have no problem with people who did upgrade to Adamant. A lot of people want to be, best in slot right in that moment, which is fine by me. I get it. I'm best in slot myself. I understand it fully. However, I saw no need in actual upgrading to the Adamant gear. The return is so minor, and I didn't feel like spending all that AD for such a bad return as I see it anyways. So the Relic gear is an upgrade from me. It's quite an upgrade from Dragonflight to this. We're talking about eight item levels between gears, which even though item level says absolutely nothing, the gap in the item levels indicate about the gap of stats, more or less. So I did not have, before switching to the Relic gear, I didn't have more than 2 pieces of power crit defense. So what ended up happening is that I lost a bunch of armor penetration. Unfortunately, my Archon is attacking right now. I will dismiss it so you guys can see my actual stats without all the procs. 10 seconds from now. Okay. So what ended up happening is that I lost a lot of armor penetration. However, I had to get over a feeling in which I'm not comfortable that I have this amount of armor penetration, and I have to rely on my companion to complete the mission margin. I wasn't comfortable with it, but I got over it. There's no good reason to actually have 60% without the bonding procs. You have the companion with you at all times anyways, so even though I only have a little bit less than 50%, which is not enough, I rely on my companion to give me the rest that I need to get above 60. So the only thing that is kind of suckish about this is that in FBI last boss, if you end up losing your companion, you're kind of tickling the last boss because you don't even cross the amount of resistance that she has. So that's kind of shitty. But you just need to avoid the ice and be a better player and dodge. So that's on me. Okay, so for this gear, that's basically pretty much all the change in Module 10. I did not change anything else. I still have, as you can see, +4 rings because unfortunately, I wasn't lucky enough. Don't get me wrong, I don't really farm. I got lazy over the years. But the tiny bit that I do farm, I was not lucky enough to get a +5 ring as of yet. I don't feel like I'm missing out on too much. But I guess that, well, I would like to hope that you guys are more fortunate than I am about that. I would also like to address another question that I keep getting frequently about brutals. Why do I not switch all of my offense slots to brutals? The reason is that with the something's wrong with the stats right here. Oh, it's unsummoned. Okay. The reason is that if I end up switching to brutals in all of my offense slots, I'm gonna lose my 100% crit chance. I don't even have 100% at this point. I have like 97, 96. and I'm really, really trying to keep it together. This is my main source of damage. This is my only justification for a Vorpal. So me switching to Brutals will gimp my damage by lowering my crit chance to the ground, which I don't like. So for me at this point, switching out all of my Azers for Brutals is not a good idea. However, I do have a few Brutals here and there. Like in this weapon, I have two, as you can see. But over time, when I eventually do get +5 rings, slotting Brutals will be a better idea, as it will give me an extra offense slot. But until then, this is the setup I have. This complements my own stats. I would like to kind of comment on my comment on the guide itself. My setup is unique to me and my views. My guide is meant to give an outline for all other players in the game who would like, some guidance. It's not the Bible. I don't recommend everybody to blindly follow it. I think that a lot of people need to kind of think about their budget, what they can and cannot get. If they want to get different pieces of gear, then that's good, but they just need to watch their stats that they're not going to hell and things are getting out of balance. As I said, what can be a direct upgrade for somebody can be a direct failure for somebody else. If one piece of raid relic, I don't know, gloves can be a direct upgrade for me, for another weapon fighter with my gear, rather with my item level, and my level of expertise, it can be total garbage. And because they chose other pieces of gear, which I respect and is totally fine. As long as they know what to do with their stat distribution, you can put up the puzzle in many different ways. So that's one thing. Now, as for boons, I don't think there's much to say about those boons. They're pretty much shit. Honestly, not even worth the minute explanation. I will get the last boon just for the sake of getting it. However, all four are absolutely useless for a DPS class. I don't even know what was the point of any of them. But I guess healers and tanky classes will get some sort of tiny benefit out of it. So the boons, done talking about those sad boons. Companions, there was one switch. I swapped the Siege Master instead of my Blink Dog. Where are you, Blink Dog? I don't see you. Well, I have the Intellect Devourer, which is about pretty much the same. However, yeah. So CA Companions got a tiny bit of a nerf this module. I'll say this right away. Slotting one CA Companion, here's the Blink Dog. Slotting one CA Companion is not a bad idea. It will not gimp your damage. It will not do pretty much anything. Slotting more than one is going to be a problem. If it used to multiply before this mode, and now it doesn't. So it's additive now, and what's happening is that it's gimping your damage big time. So if you used to rely, if you're a C-dub or you used or TRs that used to rely on multiple CA companions, yeah, that's not working anymore. So for me, a Blink Dog is not a bad idea. If you cannot get a Siege Master, it's not too bad. You're still gonna get pretty much the same amount of damage. However, I chose the Siege Master just to avoid that. I am best in slot, so I allow myself to min-max with everything I do. So Siege Master is a nice companion. It gives you 4% outgoing damage to everything with absolutely no conditions, like the Fire Arcan and the Air Arcan, all the Arcans. They're great, however, they do have conditions. And conditions can be a little bit problematic. But this one absolutely has no conditions. It gives you 4% right away and 8% in the Stronghold map, which is awesome for dragons. It can be awesome for Dragonflight. So that's the Siege Master. He's our new friend. Mounts, everything the same. Feats, most importantly, feats are the exact same. The build has not changed. Nothing in this module warranted any kind of change. So honestly, if somebody's again worried that my build for module 9 is not viable anymore, it most definitely is. You can see yourself, the feats are the exact same. There are no secret builds or, you know, hush hush anything. This is my build. This is what I use. Okay, so that's pretty much for my gear. That's a tiny snippet for module 10 and how that's gonna go. And we'll go on to the second part, which is the most important one of the video. And here it is. Here's my dummy, and my dummy is my boss for this encounter. I did lower. I usually don't roll with my profile picture at the bottom. I like it there. But I put it for the convenience of the viewers so you guys can see my buffs a little bit better. Sorry about that. So, okay. Rotation. What is the rotation? Why is everything so important to do in that rider? I don't understand. You know, a lot of people come to me and say, I don't understand. Why the hell is this so important to use this encounter and do it in this window of time? And I don't get it. A lot of people are pulling their hairs and they really don't know what's going on and why is this shit so important. Then I'll try to explain this. I'll try to calm a lot of minds down here and with this video. Hopefully this will help a lot of folks out who are struggling with their Great Weapon Fighter. So let me first of all explain something. As you can see, I will use IBS right now. I'm, as you can see, unbuffed. Nothing is going on. I have no extra buffs. My companion is idle. I have nothing going on. I'm just going to use IBS just once. Right, that did 60k damage. It was a crit, lucky crit. 60k damage. That's a little bit sad and unimpressive, honestly. So where does all my damage come from? So here it is. Let's do a simple calculation. I'm not even going to end up the numbers. I'm just gonna give you the numbers and you guys add up on your own and see how much is it. When we actually finally use IBS in the written rotation that I have on my guide, as you can notice, we're all supposed to be buffed. What do you mean by buffed? So we have Daring Shout. Daring Shout marks the target. Mark gives you several utilities. I will only mention that Mark gives the caster 20% more damage. Caster being me, I'm the one casting. And on top of that, we have our feat. That is Powerful Challenge. That gives us 15% extra. So that's 15% more. That's a total of 35. On top of that, I will also like to add something that a lot of people do not know. When you use Daring Shout, as you can see, there's a tiny tooltip right here. And there are like shields above you that are like turning around. So this thing goes away after like 10 seconds. However, the mark on the target stays. We want the mark. The mark is good. This is eventually what we want. We want our targets marked. However, this kind of function that lasts 10 seconds is a 2% debuff to the target. A lot of people don't know that. It's kind of marginal. It's not, you know, something fancy that, you know, you really should know about. But it's 2% and 2% is better than nothing. So I'm not saying, you know, I don't want people to go crazy and just do everything in the right window and just, you know, everything has to be perfect. It's marginal. The 2% don't really matter, but just so you know, it's there. Also, another misconception that a lot of people have and ask me about is that a lot of people I see, you know, they go in, they hit the mob with Daring Shout, which is fine. Then, you know, Weapon Master Strike, which is fine. And then they do this. 3 hidden daggers in a row. Why? Okay. So the misconception is this. A lot of people think hidden daggers give you 40%. When the power is all ranked up, of course. Gives you 40% total. A lot of people think is that if they use hidden daggers 3 times in a row, they get 40% on top of 40% on top of 40%, resulting in a 120% more damage. No, This is not the case. This is not happening. Hidden Dagger's buff does not stack. Please know that. Don't do that anymore. It helps you none. And honestly, to be completely honest, Hidden Daggers should not be even used beyond buffing your damage temporarily. Most definitely, no more than once in a row. It doesn't help you at all. You have great AoE in the form of at will. You have another amazing at will. You really don't need to spam all those hidden daggers at once. It is useless and not helpful. So, okay. So basically we have hidden daggers, that's 40%. We talked about the mark, which is 35%. Plus it gives you combat advantage. Combat advantage is 15% base plus whatever combat advantage you have. In my case, we're talking about 9.6. So yeah, you guys add the numbers up on your own. It's pretty much a lot. Destroyer is 36%. Wrathful Determination can give you quite a lot depending on the situation you're in. Basically, yeah. So eventually, if I get myself buffed up properly, IBS will not do 60k damage. It will do a lot more. So I would like to demonstrate my rotation. This is the regular rotation. I will show later the tweaked one for Wrathful Determination. However, I will say this. People who have a hard time understanding and mastering the regular rotation will have a hard time dealing with Wrathful Determination and how to utilize it. So my recommendation is this. After you watch this video, after you start practicing, I suggest that you practice every day or whenever you can. And don't give up until you got it done to a point that you can repeat the exact same rotation in a dungeon. Now, it's very easy to explain on a dummy and show how it's like on a dummy. Unfortunately, my computer is pretty shit, so I can't really go outside and show you the rotation in open world against mobs. I would like to, but I can't. It would lag, and I would not be able to show the video. So we'll have to settle for this one, for this tiny dummy. It's very easy to show the rotation on the dummy. It's very easy to perform it on a dummy. However, in a dungeon, things clutter up, everything dies quickly, people die, you gotta res them, you gotta do stuff. There's a lot of stuff that are going on, and you can easily get confused when this happens. So your goal is not only to master this rotation in a dummy, but also to master it in a dungeon, which is eventually what you want to get. You want to be a PvE rockstar, you gotta train, you gotta practice, you gotta do it for as long as it takes until you get it done and you understand it fully, and you can repeat it, rinse and repeat with your eyes closed. This is your eventual goal. This is what I recommend for better gameplay as a great weapon fighter. So we'll start with the rotation. It's very simple. I'll show it a few times. I'll explain what I'm doing as I'm going. So we'll start with Daring Shout, Weapon Master Strike, Hidden Daggers. Then I'm just gonna spam away with Short Strikes until I get my buff bar up. Sorry, my determination bar up. It is now full. So I'm going to go Unstoppable. I'm gonna get all of my buffs up. Then Hidden Daggers, Weapon Master Strike, IBS. This is the entire rotation. That's it. Believe it or not, that's the entire rotation. It doesn't take much at all. I'll show it again. Even though I already have my buffs up, as you can see, I have 10 of these. Destroyer Purpose, I already lost my Destroyer stacks. But essentially, when we finally use that sneaky IBS, we want it to be extremely buffed. In order for that to happen, we need to wait for 10, well, they're already gone, 10 Destroyer Purpose stacks, at least one Destroyer stack. Of course, Hidden Dagger's buff should be up, and the target should be marked, and Weapon Master Strike, which is the tiny green icon on top of this dummy, will be active as well. Of course, with Staying Power, which is the actual encounter debuff. Weapon Master Strike is a at-will debuff. The feat gives you 10% extra for actual encounters, which is what we want for our RBS. So we'll do it again. Daring Shout, Weapon Master Strike, Hidden Daggers, spam away with short strikes, get my buff, not my buff bar, I keep saying that, get my determination bar up. It is now up. I'm going unstoppable, getting all my buffs up. They're up now. Hidden Daggers, Weapon Master Strike, IBS. Now, since I'm explaining while I'm going, this is a bit slow. You need to take into account that in actual dungeons, this will happen a lot faster. But yeah, this is essentially what it should look like. I'm going to do it one more time. Daring Shout, Weapon Master Strike, Hidden Daggers, spam short strikes away. Got my determination bar up. I'm going unstoppable now. All of my buffs up. Hidden Daggers, Weapon Master Strike, IBS. This is it, guys. This is it. This is the rotation. Super simple. All you gotta do is practice. Now, in addition to this video would be the tweaked, utilized Wrathful Determination rotation. Now, the trick of that is that, as you can see with the regular rotation, all of our buffs, we use them right as we are already unstoppable and the bar is draining. Like right now, I'm using all my stuff, but the bar is already draining, and as it's draining, I'm losing damage. Because Wrathful Determination, if you guys remember, it can give you up to 25% more damage. It gives you up to 12.5, and when the bar is full, it gives you 25%. As the bar is draining, basically my damage is getting lowered because of that class feat. So it doesn't cause me to further decrease damage, but I could potentially do more. So how can I combat this? So here it is. The trick with Wrathful Determination is to use those tiny buffs, Weapon Master Strike and Hidden Daggers, before I go unstoppable. And as I go unstoppable, immediately after, I use IBS. So this is how it's gonna look like. Daring Shout, Weapon Master Strike, Hidden Daggers, spamming away. Alright, here's the tricky part. I have my buff bar, my determination bar full. I'm gonna use Hidden Daggers, Weapon Master Strike, go unstoppable, and immediately after, IBS. Now, due to circumstance, this was not a big hit, but as you can see, as opposed to my regular rotation, I used IBS when the bar was around here, as opposed to around here. So that should be a difference of at least 5%, 4%. It's not fancy. It's not much. I'm not recommending this unless you're an endgame player who really wants to min-max and, you know, you would like to go die hard over this. But definitely, this is kind of helpful. And since we're not using Weapon Master anymore as a class feat, then might as well just utilize Wrathful Determination. You don't end up losing anything out of it. In a regular rotation, also, since you have Wrathful Determination, by the way, I'll do a regular rotation right now, and I'll keep attacking just for the sake of it. I just would like to show you a daily. Just gonna keep attacking. Use Hidden Daggers, and then when my buff bar is up, I'm using... I keep saying buff bar. Damn it. When my determination bar is up, I used Crescendo. Now you can either use this as your bar is almost, almost full, or full entirely. What I like to do is I want to ensure that the last hit of Crescendo, which is the highest hitting one, will be done when the bar is already entirely full, which means 25% more damage. Now, technically, Wrathful Determination does not work correctly at the moment. Per my testings, something is not right. It does less damage than it's supposed to. However, I'm having a hard time proving it because the margin of error is so small. I'll try and see if I can work around it a little bit more, and report it as a bug if I can prove it. However, at the moment it doesn't feel like it's working correctly, and it's giving you actually a little bit less damage than it should. It's still a better option than any of our other class feats that, let's be honest, are a little bit shitty. Still, Blitz, despite the buff that it got this mode, is just still really bad. Guys, it really is. It doesn't do any more than 2% of your entire damage. Don't bother with it, honestly. Still, despite this one not giving you the appropriate amount of damage that it's supposed to, it still gives you quite a bit. While it might not give you the 25% at full, it might give you maybe 18. 18 is still a lot. And for Crescendo, which is a high, very high hitting daily, you probably should be using it properly, as your bar is already full or almost full, like towards the end. If you're not using Wrathful Determination, if you're still kind of gearing up and you're still relying on Weapon Master for crit, let's per se just, you know, switch around, and you're doing the rotation, what I would recommend is, you know, do the rotation regularly. Yada yada. And then, well, I don't have my daily up at the moment, but I will show you what I need to show you in a bit. I want to use Crescendo in that instance to actually fill my determination bar, which is not a bad idea. Right, so right now I'm going to stop. I'm going to use Hidden Daggers, then Crescendo, and by the time I'm finished, full bar. Awesome. So that should really help lower geared tunes. I get asked that a lot. Why, Leah? Why on earth is your bar filling so fast? A lot of people don't know that. But part of that capstone, that tiny capstone, in which you get determination while dealing damage, is that the more damage you do as base, the faster it fills out. So since I do a lot of damage on my own, the bar fills very fast. So that's the answer to it. There's no magic. There are no hacks, I promise. But yeah, guys, this is pretty much it. That's honestly all I wanted to show you. I know a lot of people requested this from me. I hope this helped a lot of people who are struggling with this rotation. I would also like to say that, unfortunately, as it looks like right now, I am forced to quit Neverwinter very soon. So this is most likely my last video, unless I somehow win the lottery or a bag of money falls from the sky on me. My computer is about to die, and as it's approaching its demise, the game performance and the entire computer's performance, which is a laptop, is decreasing. As a result, once the computer fries up, I will be forced to quit the game and not play anymore. So yeah, there's that. If you found this video helpful and you like my guide and you were able to donate a few bucks to help me out and fund a new computer, that would be cool and much appreciated. It might save me from quitting the game, even despite the fact I don't want to. But once again, regardless of everything, whether you donate or don't donate, thank you very much for watching the video. Please, by all means, if you have any questions, I have been answering every single question I get on MMO Minds, the official forums, Reddit, my personal mail even. I don't know how people got my personal mail, but also that in-game, of course, tells, email, whatever you want to do. If you need to ask me any question, and I might have a few spare minutes to sit with you and make sure your rotation's good even. Honestly, I would be glad to help. I'm here for that, and thank you guys very much for watching this video. And yeah, have a good one.